What's up, guys? Today we're showing you how to make your own amp and drug dealer simulator 2. We're in the bunker. You come back here, talk to Marcus, and at first, of course, you'll be buying some from him. He's all leveled up. That's why you see all this stuff. But when you want to make your own, you buy the fentanyl from him. You buy this blue stuff from him, acetone. Okay, this blue stuff you can also get from the general store right here and the mini mart right here. You can get it from other places across the map, but this is what you're gonna be dealing with at first. Now, you can go to the furniture shop over here and buy an oven. It has a bigger production queue, but you take a loss on the amp you make, so you'd be better off to come to the botanist over here, the weed and equipment store, and I'm gonna show you what to get. You want to get as many of these large containers as you can afford. You want to get some electric pressure cookers and some of these small fermentation vats. Okay, this is 70 bands right here. Marcus, these guys, they also sell the kitchen stove. What they don't sell for the stove is the pot. You can buy the pot right here. Once you level this dude up, you can also buy the pot right here off the bat. From the furniture store, you are going to need some shelves and a table though. So you'd be best to make your way over there. Once you go there, then you can remotely access their stock. You just pay out of your bank, that's all. And there's a bank right here, a pawn shop, whatever. So you put your money over there and then it's available to make remote purchases. Now the hideout you get, you don't need running water here. So I would set this place up someplace that doesn't have running water and save the running water place for your Mary Jane growing activities. Alright, I'm going to show you what I mean with the oven taking some of your supply. And so you just drag the pot over here, the cooking pot. First, you got to make amp salts. So how do you make amp salts with? The best recipe is with potassium, which you won't have access to, so let's get rid of that. Later on, you'll get potassium. Then you got two other recipes. Now pay attention to the 6.3 grams over here. With this one, it gives you 4.5. Now look at this, 10 grams of fentanyl, 10 grams of fentanyl. So fentanyl is the hardest thing to get. These both take the same amount of fentanyl. I forgot to tell you that you need ether. You can buy ether from Marcus in the bunker. You can buy ether from this mini mark right here, and you can buy it from this general store right here. This is what the ethanol, rather, not ether. This is what it looks like. For all of them, it's going to cost you about 11.5 bands. It's going to produce bottles as waste, which you can come back and sell to them. This one takes basically the same of all the important stuff and makes more product. See, this one uses more ether too. This is the one we want to make. You put you a little heart by it, so it's the first one that comes up. And when you come in here, you ain't got to mess around with it. 6.3 over there, and the same one makes 7 over here. Same 10 grams, same 13 grams of ethanol. And there you go. Yeah, over time, that adds up. The only thing is, this has a product queue of 20. And this has a product queue of 40. So at first what I did was I just had my 2 like that, And I would cook those while I was here doing stuff in my amp house. And then when I left, I would set those off, and then I would set 2 more ovens off, get them going so that more would be made while I was gone. If you see up here, you lose 10% because it's low quality equipment. And it's the same thing when you turn the amp salts into amp that you would use or somebody else would use, because you ain't supposed to get high on your own supply. Turn the amp salts into amphetamine, you use the pressure cooker. Now you can use the oven too. Here's the amphetamine. 5 grams to 0.9 grams, and you lose 10%. This turns 5 grams to 1 gram, and you don't lose 5%. But again, 20 is the top product cue. You got to keep that in mind. But you can have a lot more of these things. I ended up having so many that I had one house for making the salts and another house for making the salts into amp. I would just bag it up and take the salts to the house that made the amp. At first, it's worth it, man. It's worth it. Because the reason I did that is because of visibility. You see down here, the visibility is getting high. Now later on, you can get some shutters, install, upgrade window shutters, but you have to go and buy them. You can get them over here, but there's a lot of gangsters over here, and I mean, it's hard to get there in the first place, and the grass has got snakes in it. It's difficult, but I would definitely start getting over here and seeing what's available. The higher end lab equipment is available here. This is if you don't wait until you get down here in the Slavs Bay. That's with Kira, the whole mission quest and all that. Alright, but this is what's going to get you started. In this video, we're going to go from starting off to really going. Now, these containers here, they give you your substance storage. You see, I got 0 grams here, so I can't do anything. Now, these containers, you can fit them all up under the table. See, and they'll go closer together than what I'm doing. I'm just throwing them in there to show you. And you can also put your shelf down that you get at the furniture store if you haven't bought any. And then you can fit 3 of them on each shelf. It won't let you rotate them unless it's green. So every day, homie over there at the botanist shop will restock his containers so you can go and buy more. So what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You ain't gonna have this at first. But 70 pounds, that is more than enough to get you started. And once you get one house for making the salts and one house for making these, I had 10 of each of these at each house. And I would come in there and go in and out and bing, bam, boom. Obviously, before you can use this ether or the acetone or the fentanyl, you have to take it to this laboratory tray, which you can buy from the botanist or the furniture store. And you got to drag the stuff over. I'm not going to do that because this is just to show you I don't make amp in this house. And then it'll be over here where it can get used. And that's pretty much all it is to it for the basic setup, but I'm going to show you the more advanced setup to where I'm actually making amp now. And this is my amp house. You got these bookshelves, they give you a lot of slots. You get them at the furniture store. These small barrels, they give you a lot of storage with no visibility. You buy them over here. All this higher end stuff is for sale over here and in Slavs Bay, but you can go here without going through the main mission. Alright, these little laboratory cabinets are at the botanist and at the advanced place. These is where I make my salts. They have a giant 200 production limit. These are for sale over here in Slavs Bay. You got to progress the story until you get with Kira. You talk to this influencer here. He has you do a couple jobs, and then you go over here for a robbery, which is actually a B&E, and that's Kira you do it with, and then she'll start calling you and getting you to do things for her. Okay, in here, these laboratory water baths are like $80K a piece. They're for sale at that advanced place I told you about. So are these giant barrels. You can go and get them right now. They are not cheap. Alright, but you can make your production K is a lot bigger. It's 90. And 5 grams of amp makes 1 gram. 5 grams of amp salt makes 1 gram of what you call it, amp, and it takes 14 seconds. And it's 5 grams to 1 gram, 2,000 watts. That electricity cost does get to you. You can see I've already used $213 worth of electricity today, so that matters. 2,000 watts, 2,400 watts, 14 seconds, 20 seconds. So it makes it faster and it has a much bigger product queue. But basically everything else is the same. To me, this was worth it because I got other stuff to do. I want to get this stuff cracking and then go out. I started off with 2 of them. Now I got 6 of them. I did not start off with all this stuff. These things are like 30 or 40,000, I think, I forget. Chemistry table right here is for sale. You just hold space bar and there it is, 30 bands. And then you can turn chocolate bars and cocoa into fentanyl. You buy chocolate bars mostly here and at the pharmacy right down here. There's other mini marts and other pharmacies on the map, but these are the ones that I use. And I also still go back to the bunker to buy it from Marcus. I rob a warehouse over here, about right here, almost every day because there's a lot of fentanyl in there. Not a lot, but some. And there's a meth store over here where you can buy some of this kind of stuff, but you got to talk to this influencer first, go to the meth store, and then they'll give you a job to hit this warehouse for the first time. The first time you hit the warehouse, you pay 6 beers, but have lockpicks with you, 2 to 3 stacks of them. So that's 10 to 15. And be ready to waddle out of there with overloaded. Alright, the second time you come back, it costs 50 bands to hit the warehouse, but it's worth it. Like I said, I hit the warehouse. I'm sorry, the warehouse is right here. I hit the warehouse almost every day. Pay 50,000 to go in there and have as much as I can carry. But this is mainly for meth. Alright, there is some what you call it in there, some amp stuff in there, but it's mainly meth stuff. You will get a lot of the blue stuff, acetone. You get the giant jugs of that. And then to get the recipe to make chocolate into fentanyl, I got another video on it, but there's a warehouse down here somewhere you hit and you need bolt cutters and lock picks. At the end of the video, there's going to be a little card that pops up that'll link you to that video. Make sure you go and watch it. And then you can turn chocolate and chocolate bars into the stuff you need. Now, this is where you get the potassium I was telling you about. The potassium is a recipe. You see how this one gives you 7 grams and the potassium gives you 10 grams? Yeah, so you want that potassium. Every time I get around this mini mart, I go there and buy up all their chocolate bars and their cocoa. I hit this pharmacy down here like every other day, getting all their fentanyl, and there's a mini mart right next to it that sells chocolate and chocolate bars. So this is the advanced stuff here, folks. This is how you do it up. Get you a locker going. I got a locker full of these acetones. I hit all these from that warehouse I told you about. Got a locker full of ether. I buy this stuff from Marcus. Every time I go over there, I buy them out of ether. Ethanol, sorry. See, I got 13 pounds of amp salts now. You'll get that too. You don't really need 3 of these things like I got them. And if you want to know, I got it set up at this house here. This is my amp house. There's no running water here. There doesn't need to be. You save another house for your pot house. This is my pot house right here because it's got running water there. I hope this helps y'all out. I know this is the most comprehensive amp video out there because I watched them all. That's how I learned how to do amp, and there was stuff that I wanted to know that wasn't in the videos. So this has got all the stuff. Do me a solid, smash that like button.